Hello and welcome to the Gle C Pro page. Gle C Pro, that's this wonderful product here. Now, if you've landed on this page, it's probably because you've got dirty render. Now, silicon-based renders can be notoriously difficult to clean because they're such a delicate surface, but not only that, they grow this black staining as well as also red staining. And what else do they grow? Green algae as well. And so the longer you leave it, the harder the stain is to get away. Now, the silicon-based renders are sold as maintenance-free, which in a theory they are. The colour is in the render, so you don't have to paint them. But unfortunately, due to the good air conditions that we have now and the Clean Air Acts that have been coming forward, the render is an amazing environment for growing organic contamination. And so what happens is first it starts off with green algae, and then it works its way to reds. You can get different parts of the country that have red stain. It looks like the building is actually bleeding. Here's an image, for instance, where the the green and reds have turned into a overall black staining, which happens a lot of the time for most renders. And normally when it gets to this point, it's been a long time since it's been cleaned, and it's going to only basically a sodium hypochlorite based solution will be able to remove that black staining. You can also look at superheated steam, like a DOF system, but the majority of people would have to resort for sodium hypochlorite. Now, some people don't like mixing their own sodium hypochlorite, so what we've done here at Softwash UK is we created a product called Gle C Pro, which is the one on this page. It's a pre-mixed sodium hypochlorite based solution with a surfactant blended in already. Now, the downside to this is, in honesty, is shelf life. Because you've added a surfactant to it, it will start to go off during its sitting period. So it's important to have fresh produce, and Gle C Pro is always fresh, and that you use it as soon as possible. Now, as it's described, gel, it's quite a thick solution, and it's a ready-to-use solution. You don't need to dilute it down with water. However, you can do that should you wish, but don't do it any more than 1 part Gle C Pro to 3 parts water, and this will allow you to spray it. But Gle C Pro is really about applying a thick coat without actually doing any dilution. And what it will do is it will basically clean up the render incredibly quickly, normally half an hour to 45 minutes maximum. And if it hasn't quite done it by then, and it's a severe case of contamination from the black lichen stains, then you'd need to do a second coat. Now, it's really important after the clean has achieved its goal, you should rinse off gently with water. Now, you can use a garden hose tap to clean it down with, or you can use a jet wash, but I mean from a distance. Never use a pressure washer or a jet washer on render because it will damage it. But if you stand like 2 or 3 meters back and project the water from the jet wash, and you're not actually 3 or 4 inches in front of the render, then that's perfectly fine, as long as you're projecting it from distance, because by the time it hits the render, it's actually like throwing a bucket of water on the render. So you're fine to do that, but just don't use the high pressure end tip close to the render, because you will damage it. It will leave wand marks within the render. It's important to wash the chemical off. First of all, it makes it safe. It breaks down into salt and water, but we want to remove the salt as well, as we don't want to encourage green growth to grow on there, because salt is, if you ever leave a bowl of salt in a damp room, the moisture will draw into the salt, and we don't want to encourage moisture into your render after the clean, because that's just going to make it go green again really quickly. So it's important to rinse it all off, and then the render can fully dry out and there's no salt residue there that's going to cause any green algae. And that's it basically. And you have to protect the plants and any vegetation in the area, and you can apply it by spraying or a roller brush, like a painting pole. If you want to use it for isolated areas like windowsills, where the coping stones or anything like that, you can do that as well. If you want to control the soft wash so it doesn't go everywhere, basically Gle C Pro is a very you can control it very well. In other words, it doesn't run off everywhere. So that's Gle C Pro, available in the product page below. There's more details as well, including all information. However, if you do have any individual questions that you'd like to ask around this particular product, then just reach out to us on the Contact Us page, and we'll happily answer any questions you have. So thank you for stopping by, and thank you very much for joining us here. See you later. Bye-bye.